All right. I know I told you there was the last thing. In the end of the last video was the last thing we needed to do. I realized that we have a naked cover sheet and we get to do something fun and it won't take long at all. Basically, I want a pretty picture on my cover sheet. That's what it all boils down to. So I'm on my View tab. I've got my cover sheet open. Like I said, I want a pretty thing here. So I'm going to open my ground floor. I need to zoom back so I can see everything. I'm going to use the drop down on 3D view and click camera. First place that I click is where the camera actually is. The next place I click is my field of view and the depth of what I'm looking at. That looks pretty good. Boom, just like that, you got a 3D view. Now its proportions are a little wonky, so let's fix that. It's just a drag and drop, or not a drag and drop, just click and drag rather. There we go. Let's widen him out just a hair. Okay. Now I want this to be really big and fat on my screen. I want to see a lot of it. Actually, I want to change the angle of this a little bit. Yeah, I want to change the angle of this. So with the edge of this highlighted, I open up my ground floor plan and you can see if I click and drag, I can change what I'm looking at. I want to look at it a little more straight on. Let's see what that looks like. That's a little better. Yeah, it's a little better. We'll use that. I think that's prettier. But I don't want this to be called 3D view number 1. I mean, that's really not all that descriptive. So right click, rename. Just call it exterior perspective. Sorry about that. Next thing I want to do is I want to turn on consistent colors because I want it to be pretty. That's what it all boils down to. I just want it to be pretty. You can see right there, if I zoom in, you can tell that wall does not go all the way up to the ceiling. So if I highlight him, change him from low roof, change him to go all the way up to the high roof. So one of the nice things about having all this stuff connected in 3D is you can see everything. He already goes up to the high roof. Okay, so far so good. If I highlight the edge here, if I highlight the perimeter of this view, I have this button here that shows up that says size crop. I want to make sure that this is really big and prominent on my cover page. Well, he's only going to be 7 inches across. It's not really big. I want him to be much bigger. If I change field of view, if I leave this set to field of view, it's going to make the proportions changeable. And it just means it's going to start adding fisheye distortion and stuff like that the further things get to the edge. So I just want to change the scale of this. And I want to change the width to, we'll make it 16 inches. So now, when I go back to my cover page, I drag my exterior perspective on here, he's filling up a lot of the screen. That looks a little better. And since we're on the cover sheet, this would be a great place to put our sheet list. So I'm going to highlight, I'm just going to take my sheet list, drag and drop and place him on here. Left click, I can place him. Zoom in a little bit. Now, we've got some word stacking happening here. I really don't want to see that. And the way to get rid of that is with these little control points. So just click and drag him out. So now sheet number is not stacked. And I want to do the same thing for the sheet name. Just want to drag him across until everything is in a straight line. So there's my sheet list. There we go. That's the last little thing that we get to do for right now. The rest of this is the rest of everything that we're doing is all spit and polish. The next thing is we're really going to be focusing on, and this is going to start in class, we're going to be adding a lot of detail in our wall sections. It will not take long at all, but we may end up going back and making some additional changes, some kind of major changes in the model because we don't have anything for a site plan, and I mean nothing. So thanks for putting up with me, guys. I will see you in class.